Hey Joe,
Yeah,
are you're Joe from TSOL? Well,
yeah.
wow, I can't believe I finally get to talk to you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Pretty
Who is
good.
this?
Anarka Akaza on YouTube.
Did I just give you my phone number on a text just now
Yeah,
on
yeah,
on
just now
Facebook?
you did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I've been wanting to
What?
get your story for the longest time because your section of TSOL is never mentioned usually. As in all the punk rock documentaries and stuff. I've never. I mean, I own
No,
Change
they won't.
Today, but I don't
They're
ever
just, you
hear
know
about
what,
those
man?
albums.
Those albums are the best albums TSOL ever did.
I do like them. I
Hate it.
mean, I
Dude, it's like TSOL's greatest hits. I don't care what anybody says. It was fucking better. I was a way better songwriter than fucking Jack. I lived with him for 10 years.
You live with
You know,
Jack?
yeah. You
Oh
didn't know that?
wow. No, I.
I married his little sister.
Holy hell, really?
Yeah, that's why nobody talks about it. It's like a soap opera thing, man. Yeah. It's a pretty good story, dude. It's a really good story. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, but I've been writing, I've been writing songs and poetry since I was a kid, and I wrote a lot of those songs before I was even in TSOL.
Damn. Yeah, of the four, I do like Change Today the best. I love Black Magic. Black Magic is just a nuclear bomb. I love it.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, I just had a girl just like that, a witch. Ugh. So every time I sing that song now, I can think of her.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. So I waited a long time to do this band that I'm doing now. I'm doing all the old songs now again.
Lovely.
The band is called Change Today. Where do you live?
Oh, I live in Kansas.
Okay. We might get out that way. I know we're headed to the East Coast here pretty
Oh, the
soon.
band's called Change Today?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just started it, dude. I just started it because, I just waited a long, long time to do these songs. I just wanted to see what TSOL was going to do. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to see if they were going to, actually become more successful, but they just can't, they just haven't been able to fucking do it,
Well, I was gonna
They tour a
ask.
lot.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because I've always wanted to know this, and yes, I'm not close with Jack Grisham, but he's a good friend of mine, and I had
No,
it
Jack,
in.
I like Jack. I mean, I don't like him, but
He's a
I
one
don't
of
got
my
nothing
punk.
bad to say about him.
He's one of my punk rock idols, but I
Yeah.
interviewed him 2 years ago, and I asked him
Hmm.
about Change Today and all that, and he's like, I didn't do those. I don't got nothing to say about those. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
He's like, if you want to talk about those, he's like, go look up Joe Wood, ask him. I'm like, okay.
Yep. That's me.
But for the sake
Yeah.
of this
But yeah, he
interview,
won't. He said a lot of bad stuff about him before, and he probably regrets that. I hope, But
can
they
you
try to ignore it.
can you tell me like how you got into TSOL and just how they came to be? Because I'm really clueless on those four albums.
All right, I'll tell you how it would happen. I was playing I was playing it in like a well, see, back in the punk rock days, they used to have, like, the Bills would have blues bands and like Top Jimmy and the Blasters and roots bands. A lot of those roots bands would play with punk rock bands back in the old days. And when those bands started coming around, I got exposed to the kind of music that I liked, which was blues. And I decided to I just really wanted to become a great musician rather than just play punk rock. I liked punk rock, but I wanted to also learn how to play all the other stuff, like the rockabilly stuff and all that. And I kind of went that direction. And I had a band called Joe Wood and the Loners, and then and I was already done with punk by then. You know what I mean? I'd already been in a couple of punk rock bands and had pretty good success, and I was just done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ron started sitting in with my band.
Rod Emery.
Yeah, and I have pictures of the backyard party where I was playing, and Ron was sitting in a few gigs with me, and Roach came to one of the parties and asked me to start a new band with him and Ron, and I said okay, and we started writing songs, and we got a drummer. We tried out a bunch of drummers, Chuck Biscuits, Nikki from the Weirdos. And we ended up with Mitch Dean, who's a really good friend of mine, and they just ended. Roach decided to call it TSOL.
Huh. Damn.
And that was that.
This is after Beneath the Shadows came out, right?
Yeah, this is right after Beneath the Shadows, and
Yeah,
which was,
Jack
it
told
was
me
a
why
huge
he
mistake.
left.
Yeah, he said Jack wanted to do like Duran stuff, like he wanted to do pop, and that's cool, I mean.
Yeah, he released Cathedral of Tears, which I love that
Cathedral
album.
of Tears, yeah, it's a great album. It's one of my favorites that he's ever done. But Jack's always followed the trends, you know what I mean? When we were doing like kind of like with Guns N' Roses and stuff, he did a band like that was Tender Fury. And then when Green Day came back out, he went back to punk rock and did Joy Killer, and
Yeah,
then
I love Joey Kill. I have a couple other CDs. I'm trying to get them on vinyl.
Those guys tried a lot of solo stuff, and a lot of people don't want to do solo stuff because I knew that the four letters were going to be worth more than anything else. You know what I mean? So that's why I bought them. You know what I mean? But Roach got out of prison and asked me. He said, "Hey, I want to do a few shows with TSOL, and I'm going to get it back together again." And I said, "Okay." And we made up a contract that is, as long as they went to Brazil, that it would be cool. But first chance they got, they went to Brazil and fucked it up. So.
Shit.
I know, and nobody knows their songs in Brazil. I don't know why they went. You know what I mean? Nobody knows who they are in Brazil. Only my albums were released over there, and they became very popular over there.
Yeah.
And so I heard that tour wasn't very fun, but they were the original members. That this is what they have. And more power to them. But I finally realized I just got bugged so long. I finally said I'll try this. I didn't think anybody wanted to hear my songs, but every show's selling out, so I'm fine doing it for a couple of years.
I think it's either I've heard I've heard Change Today and The One Afterward. I don't think I've heard Strange Love and Hit and Run yet. I haven't been able to track them down. I know I can easily go on YouTube and listen to it, but I'm the type of person I want the cassette, the CD, or the vinyl.
Well, Strange Love got thoroughly fucked up by the producers and Mike Roach. They wanted to go completely fucking, just fucking hair band rock. And there's a couple of good songs on there, but they really, the production just sucks. So they ruined my songs, man. And I'm pretty bummed about that, But there's nothing I can do about it.
There's a Guns N' Roses music video where they're having a TSOL logo on the shirt. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. He was friends with my drummer. That was just rock and roll's weird, man. I just do my thing and have a good time with what I like to do. You know what I mean? And I was fine never playing TSOL again, but people want to hear it, and I'm just kind of doing this for them, and it's been kind of fun actually revisiting all this stuff. It brings back a lot of memories. We were a completely different band than TSOL, and calling it TSOL was in my opinion a mistake. And it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard on me going out there, trying to take Jack Grisham's place. That was fucking pretty brutal, dude.
What instead of TSOL, what do you have called it if you had the chance to go back and do that?
Oh shit, I have no idea. I don't remember what we were throwing around, a bunch of names. Yeah, I don't remember. Sleep When I'm Dead, maybe.
Oh shit. During the live show in the 90s, and now this is what I read from Wikipedia, you were on stage with Jack at some point for a live show? Or is that false? Like, did you play it?
We did a lot of shows together.
Under TSOL?
Well, yeah, well, I mean, me and Jack did Christmas shows, you know what I mean? Like, come Christmas time, we would do Christmas shows. His band and my band, we'd do them together.
Huh. Weird.
I mean, what? Yeah, you mean like his band opened up for us at the Scream once? Tender Fury opened up for us once.
The reason I'm asking is because I've heard a lot of people tell me that you and Jack absolutely hated each other, and you wouldn't it was trashing both ways. I mean, this is what I've heard from.
Well, that did happen for a while. You know what I mean? That did happen for a while, and I do not hate anybody anymore. And me and Jack lived together for 10 years and never ever had one anything. His kids went to on vacations with me, and I knew his whole family very well, and I loved his whole family very much, and I still do. It's like it was me and Jack never had any issues really.
Well, that's good to hear.
When he got in TSOL, he said a lot of bad things about me, and a lot of them were lies, and I got mad. And then also about when with the name, issues with the name, because I had bought the name, you know what I mean?
Oh, you bought TSOL?
Yeah, I own the name, TSOL.
Oh.
I can't do anything with it, you know what I mean? What am I going to do? I'm not going to sue them, you know what I mean? They know that, you know. I wouldn't sue them, but it happened under bad conditions, how I got the name, and that created some drama, you know what I mean? But since I've talked to Ron many times since then. I've talked to Roach a few times, and we consider ourselves friends. But Jack, he's a tough one. He's hard to be friends with, and but everybody has their side of the story, and
the only stuff I know is just from what I hear on the internet. Like when I tell you, I hear from
right.
people just
Wikipedia,
Loudwire.
So after talking to Jack, and then after talking to me, then you'll kind of know the truth. You know what I mean?
Well, the question I was going to ask you is, when you departed from TSOL, how did that happen? Like, what caused you to depart?
I didn't depart. Actually, I never really departed. I just stopped playing. I just stopped playing in that band for a while, and then I started another band. There was no depart because there was no original members. There was no TSOL really at that point. You know what I mean?
Oh, in the 90s?
Yeah, I was playing. I was playing in another band, called Big Deluxe or something like that. I can't remember what the name of the band was, but yeah, it might have been the Loners. It might have been the Lonely Ones. It might have been the Lonely Ones by then, in '98, and then and then Roach. Yeah, it was probably the Lonely Ones. Roach came to me and saw me, and he was very kind and said he wanted to do it again. And I did. They're the original members. I didn't want to take anything away from that. I just didn't. You know what I mean? But I also wanted to be compensated a little bit. But that's not going to happen. And I was probably foolish for thinking that. You know what I mean? I had made a lot of mistakes back then. And I take responsibility for that. I did a lot of things that I wish I didn't. You know what I mean? And regarding TSOL, but I was pretty hurt. That's who I was for a long time. The way they treated me when they did play, and the things that they said about me, and at their shows, and it's on YouTube. I mean, you can see it. It's just it wasn't very nice, and that pissed me off. You know what I mean? So I said some things and did some things I shouldn't have done. So.
Oh. Well.
But I mean, that was a long time ago, and I have no ill will towards any of those guys anymore. I wish them nothing but luck, and I hope maybe we can get on a bill with them. That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool to see, indeed.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm not asking all this stuff to bring up drama. It's just I have never heard your story ever. I've never heard your story, and
I'm glad. Nobody has, and nobody has really, because nobody's really heard it. Because I was silent for 25, 30 years, and now I just didn't have any interest in telling it. You know what I mean? Because it didn't matter, you know what I mean? But now that I'm doing this band, it does matter. So.
Yeah, the other day I was looking up some stuff about TSOL, and I am trying to interview all the members of the band, because TSOL is my favorite punk rock band of all time, beside Bad Religion. But I'm friends with Jack Grisham, friends with Ron. I'm trying to talk to Ron Emery, Mike Roach. Ron's
pretty quiet and private guy, but he's very, very, very nice guy. And Mike Roach is a very, 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 very cool guy.
Their new drummer Antonio, I just added him on Facebook last night. I'm gonna try to get a interview with him. But cool. Yeah, I was like, I need to talk to Joe, because he's part of the era of TSOL that no one ever talks about, and I'd be interested to hear what he's gonna say about it.
They're probably going to start talking about it.
They are.
We're getting some yeah, we're getting some pretty good gigs under this moniker, and they're selling out. So it's been a lot of fun. I hope they start talking about it at least. That's what I meant to say. Because I think it's worth talking about. At least it was 10 years of my life anyway.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I know a lot of people say TSOL is Dance With Me Beneath the Shadow, Disappear, Divided We Stand, and so forth. But whether or not people believe in or support the non-Jack albums, it's still under the name TSOL. I mean, so it is still part of the band's history.
I know it is part. It is part of that band's history, and and I personally wish they wouldn't. I don't know why that they. They are so. I mean, just because Jack wasn't on the records, Ron and Roach were on the records, and they were in control of the band. You know what I mean? I certainly wasn't. I just wrote songs. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So I think that Ron, I think that it should be part. I mean, God forbid, if there was ever a punk rock, again, whatever it's called, like a Hall of Fame or anything, TSOL would be one of the first bands up there, hopefully. And, I wouldn't even be able to go probably.
Well, that would be rather unfortunate.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's how much, they've totally kind of wrote me out of their history. And, they don't have to do that. They don't. I mean, I wasn't a bad guy. I think I'm a good songwriter. Certainly I made a couple of bad records, but I made some good ones too. And I, those guys were my friends, and they had my back for a long time. And the fact that we can't, play together or even, talk nice to each other is it's a service to all of us. And
well, the question I was going to ask about Change Today is, it says on Wikipedia, and I've heard so many different versions of this. The album was financed by Dead Kennedys. Is that dead?
Yes.
Oh, really? Wow. So did Jello be after finance it, or?
No, the Dead Kennedys financed it because our manager was Dead Kennedy's manager, Mike Ferrani, and he set it up so that the Dead Kennedys let us use their old van for tours and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
That's why they called it TSOL, so that they could get a record deal, and get tours right away. That's why they did that. And the momentum still hadn't gone away, but I'm telling you, it was hard on me. You know what I mean? But I was surprised I didn't quit.
Oh, really?
It was pretty brutal, man. It was pretty brutal. You know what I mean? Like for about a year and a half, man. It was like in some places even 2 years. We had to totally ex-nay all the old people that loved Jack and that hated me. You know what I mean? And get our new audience. And that just came from constant touring, and it was very, very hard. I mean, we were never home. All we did was tour.
So pretty much, it was just really, I guess I could say, docile against you guys, because you weren't the TSOL that was Dance With Me and Beneath the Shadows. They were like,
yep.
You guys are just imposters, pretty much.
That's right, and we weren't playing any of those songs. And if I was ever to do it again, which I never would, I've had other pretty big bands ask me to, take places of other singers, and I told them no fucking way would I ever do that again. But, I would, if I was to ever do that again, I certainly would play, the old, a lot of the old stuff that the people like. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, and I made a big mistake by not doing that. I think, even though, I would have never been able to sing it like him or anything. They still want to hear the song. You know what I mean? And you should be able to give that to them.
I wonder if I didn't ask Jack Grisham this during my interview with him, but I heard someone say that they have played songs off of Change Today. I'm not sure, but have they? Do you think?
You know what? I saw a brief flash of somebody else singing Red Shadows not too long ago, and I thought it was them, and now I can't find it. I cannot find it anywhere.
Well, I mean, of all four albums, including the live album, Change Today does kind of simmer in with Dance With Me a little bit, and I say that because it's got a darker, more hardcore punk sound versus Revenge and the other three, because the other three I'd kind of consider more hard rockish.
Beneath the Shadows doesn't sound hardcore.
No. I'm talking about Dance With Me. Like, Change Today kind of, it's got a Dance With Me type of vibe to it. It's got a darkish, gloomy vibe.
Yeah. But what's TSOL's last album?
Trigger Complex.
No. The last one where last one before Change Today.
The one before Change Today is Beneath the Shadows. It goes.
Wasn't there? There was an EP after that, or something like Weathered Statues. Was that before?
Oh yeah, Weathered Statues, the EP. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what happened is that TSOL was kind of going a direction, right? And the direction that it was going was Change Today. That's what we thought. And the direction that was going was Revenge. That's what we thought. And then the direction that was going was Hit and Run. That's what we thought. You know what I mean? And then by the time the last fourth LP came out, you know, the band was already just all fucked up and broken up, and you know, it was all just a mess. That's why that's, you know, Strangelove's just all, you know, fucked.
Yeah, I mean, comparing the artwork cover of that one to the other ones, it kind of doesn't even look like a TSOL album.
Well, with the hair and stuff like that, that was not my idea, you know, believe me. I didn't like that, you know.
I mean, when I look at the cover, I kind of see Guns N' Roses on that.
But you know what? But everybody Jack had big hair back then. You know that, right?
Haven't really seen that many live videos of him back then.
No, there's no videos of it, but like everybody had the big hair back then. That lady that did my hair just happened to do my, you know, I was all strung out on heroin. I didn't even know, you know, and I didn't even care. I didn't even care because you know, everybody had big hair back then pretty much, except Ron and a couple other people that just didn't care. You know what I mean?
In the 90s, the 80s.
Like we had people dressing us, and we had clothing people and all that shit at that point. You know what I mean? It was pretty smarmy, though. I mean, I didn't like it. You know, I certainly wasn't. I was not, you know, the guy going, yeah, let's do this and let's do that. You know, that was not me. All I did was write the song and follow along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that Strange Love is on Enigma. So
yeah,
and the live albums on that's from '88. I'm trying to look at the record labels of these albums here.
They're all ours should be Green World and then Enigma. Green World was Enigma.
Enigma. Is Enigma is that a major record label or a small record label? Oh,
it was like a medium. Green World was the first one, and then when it turned into Enigma, it became kind of like a medium. It wasn't ever a major.
Did you guys get any flack for being on a quote medium record label at all?
No.
Oh, well.
Never got any flack at all.
A lot of punk
actually after everybody got used, you know, after everybody got used to the idea of what was going on, I didn't get any flack at all. But it was those first 2 years that were pretty hard.
I'm just what really kind of draws my curiosity is just how it, like, the transitions of it, the transitioning from original TSOL to the one you were in, and then after.
It shouldn't have been called TSOL. That was truly a mistake, you know. And you can probably ask anybody. It was a different band. Should have been called something else. It didn't. It happened, and there it is. You know what I mean?
I mean, can't really harp on it much, but.
No, but I mean, you know, it's a bummer that it happened, dude. It's a bummer for me. You know what I mean?
It's
a bummer for me.
Do you get flack for it today by people?
No.
I was gonna say, I hope
because I have, you know, I have a lot of fans. You know what I mean? That of my, there's two camps basically. You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. Exactly,
and then there's a lot of people, and then there's a lot of people that like, you know, both of them. You know what I mean?
I'm one of them.
Yeah, so you're one of them. So there's a lot of people like you that can see, you know, past, you know, the name of the band and look at the personal artist of who singing the song and who writes the songs.
Just saying, if I wasn't one of them, I wouldn't be on the phone with you right now.
No. I have 2 interviews with them too, dude. It's important. You know what? It's not only you know, good that we disagree or whatever. You know, it's important that people disagree.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay. You don't have to. You know, I respect people that disagree with me, you know, and I would hope that they would do the same with me. You know, it doesn't mean that they're right, and it doesn't mean that I'm right. It just means that we disagree, you know. And the fact of the matter is that I think that, you know, that my songs, you know, that my time in TSOL are better songs, you know. But of course I'm partial because I wrote them, so
I get
you know
what you mean. I do love Change Today though. I do love that one. I don't really have strong feelings.
So you don't like you don't like Nothing for You?
Huh?
You don't like the song Nothing for You?
Which album is that on?
No, it doesn't matter now. I know you don't. Okay. It's all right. So you only like Change Today. You don't have any strong feelings towards the other ones.
I have never heard I've never heard Hit and Run. I've heard Revenge. It's been a long ass time though.
Well, you're only 25, so you're pretty, you know, as you get older, you're going to change a little bit. You know, I was 24 when I started with TSOL, 23, and you know, things are going to change for you. You know, and do you listen to other kinds of music besides punk rock?
Yeah, I actually mostly listen to noise rock and no wave, like Sonic Youth, Unsane, the Melvins, right. DNA.
Yeah, I listen to that too, but I also listen to Townes Van Zandt and, you know, Sheryl Crow and
I've got some cassette tapes.
You know what I'm saying? I like listen to a lot of, I listen to country, I listen to jazz, I listen to opera. I'm 60 now, so I listen
60?
to a lot of different kinds.
Holy shit!
Huh?
You're 60.
Yeah, I'm 60.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm 60 years old, and so just know that just keep an open mind, man, and with music, because music is a funny thing, and my fans that like my TSOL, they've been so fucking good to me, because I guess they think I'm the underdog, but I'm not. I don't feel that way. You know what I mean? I'm totally happy. I have a happy life. I have a great life. I own my own home right on the fucking beach in one of the nicest neighborhoods in California. You know what I mean? Like and Leucadia, it's like a little artist community right here, right outside of San Diego. It's just beautiful. And I don't like people like when they try to stick up for me or stuff, about this TSOL stuff, because I don't want anybody. I've had a fucking wonderful life, dude. I mean, it has been sex, drugs, and rock and roll, all the way through, and it's a good life. You know what I mean?
I get you
there. It's a good life. Yeah, So I don't want anybody thinking that I got the short end of the stick, because I certainly did not.
I noticed here on Wikipedia during those years there's a shitload of member changes. Like a bunch of member changes. Not just with you, but Marshall Varner, Mike Madd.
There's been people like, there was, Frank Agnew was in TSOL.
He was?
I think there was another singer even before Jack, Yeah, people don't realize how many people don't realize how many member changes were in TSOL.
Them and Social Distortion, oh my god. Social Distortion.
Well, you know what? But you know what? When you're in a band, like if you're running a band and you're a leader of a band, or you want to keep a band together, dude, you are going to change members most of the time. I mean, there's a few that stick together, but it's hard, because one guy gets a girlfriend, he's gone. You know what I mean? Like, one guy gets a chick pregnant, he's gone. One guy dies, overdoses, he's gone. I mean, there's a lot of shit that happens. You know what I mean? And that's just the nature of playing music.
Yeah. Do you listen to Pennywise at all from Long Beach? Well, do you know who they are?
I know the guys. Yeah, and I heard their songs, and they're good.
Well, I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of them, but I was gonna make a reference to them earlier when you were talking about it's hard to replace the singer.
Yeah.
So Jim Lindenberg's been the singer since the inception of Pennywise. However, in I think it was 2011 or 2012, their album All or Nothing, Jim left the band for family reasons, and what's his name? Jay Kirstrup, something like that. They put in a new singer, and it just, oh my god, that All or Nothing album sounds atrocious. Pennywise is an example of just Jim or bust. Jim or bust.
All right, but listen to AC/DC, Back in Black is fucking one.
AC/DC, they did their vocal change ups, as they've had multiple different singers. They can do it well, but
as an AC/DC fan, I love Bon Scott. You know what I mean? They're always going to love the original member best. Always. That's just common. I mean, that's just like standard procedure. You know what I mean? There's very few. I can't think of one actually where a singer took the place where they like the next singer better than the first one.
I can think of one band in particular.
Let me hear.
The Descendants. Milo Ackerman was not the original vocalist of that band.
Right, The Descendants. Right, good job.
Yeah, Milo. A lot of people don't know this, but David Nolte. Fuck, I don't know his name. Nolte.
Did they make any records with the first singer?
Yeah, they made a EP in like 1978. It was the very first thing they ever came out with.
Right, but I'm talking about somebody that's established. Yeah, you're right. But a lot of people don't know that. So you got to be a real geek like me and you to go in deep. You go in deep, and I like that. That's funny.
That's all I spend my time doing is music research.
You know what's funny is I do the same thing. I do the same exact thing. That's how I write. I write songs and study songs. At least probably 8 to 12 hours a day. That's what I do, is study music.
Yeah, Descendants, Ride the Wild slash It's a Hectic World. Milo Ackerman was not the singer of that. And the reason most people probably have never heard it before is because the 7 inch is $150 on Discogs. So
Right, because it's so rare, because they probably only made 1,000 of them or something like that is what happened, and that's why nobody knows. And the other singer, the other people certainly don't want to, pump that up,
yeah,
because
that'd be
it
insane.
doesn't do them any good. And then, that's the thing, is it doesn't do TSOL any good to pump me up, you know what I mean? And I understand that, but and they don't. And Jack doesn't say anything bad about me anymore, and I don't say anything bad about him anymore. That's the way it should.
I haven't heard him say anything negative, and like I said during
No,
our interview,
no.
he just told me if I want your story, to ask you.
No, that's not negative at all. No, but
No, I know.
people go out of the way to show me the bad stuff that he says. You know what I mean? And it's on YouTube, and there's on a lot of interviews. They believe me. I have to listen to all. I don't listen to it, and then I don't look for it. You know what I mean? I just don't want my.
Neil Hamburg?
No.
Well,
No.
he's a friend of Jack's. Jack had an interview with him a long time ago, and he made the mention.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first time I ever actually knew about. Well, the first time I found out about you, Jack told him, he's like, yeah, a lot of times some people will like bring a Change Today or a Strange Love to me, and he'll be like, no, sorry, that's not me. That's all he really does. It's like, nope, that's not my band.
No, I know. Well, Dad, have you seen all the YouTube videos of Jack Grisham somebody just showed me one
I've seen a
on YouTube
number of them, but there's so many out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's one on there where he just, says that I got Ron strung out on heroin to buy the name, and brought him a bunch of heroin to buy the name, and
Yeah, I've not seen that one.
stuff like that. Which just is not. That's
Is it an
fabricated,
interview or is
you
it
know
a
what I mean?
live show?
There's a live show
Oh,
in front of a crowd, and everybody's, he's just egging everybody on, and dude, it's pretty hard for me to watch, and I only seen a minute of it.
I could understand that.
Yeah, so I mean, that brings up stuff, but he doesn't do it anymore. And what I don't understand is we never, me and him never ever had a problem, living together on all that time. I can't remember one time where we ever, I mean, we had words, I think once or twice, but that was it. It was really no big deal.
I think that's all the questions I had. I just really wanted to know your story because it's not written anywhere.
Well, I'm glad you did. I mean, the thing is that we ended up, I married his sister, and I moved into the house, and we got along fine, and then there was a little part that wasn't real fine, is when they got back together and stuff was said, and all that's passed, and now now we're both doing the songs, from the band, and I don't have to call it TSOL, which is awesome. Thank you very much for calling, and you just text me anytime, and then I'll send you my address. All right, brother?
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, kiddo. Be careful in Philippines, all right?
I will.
See you later.